Okay friends, so one of the first things we need to do is get under the hood and we're going to disconnect the negative battery terminal. This is what you're going to want to do after you make sure that you have your window in the fully upward position. Just loosen this nut right here, then you should be able to twist and lift this right up. We'll set it aside so it's disconnected from the battery. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and remove this weather barrier right here. As you pull it away, you're going to see a whole bunch of this black stuff right here. This is called butyl tape and it's very sticky. It can ruin your clothes. Just going to pull this right off the door panel and then we'll set it aside. The next thing we're going to do is move the wiring out of the way and we're going to remove our speaker. Disconnect your speaker, set it aside. Now the next thing that we're going to want to do is remove our door handle from the window regulator itself. To do that, use a nice pry tool or a small screwdriver. We're just going to lift up on this tab and carefully pull this out like this. After you've done that, go ahead and grab your cable and draw it out of the little slot. Next we're going to move along to this area here. If you pry in between, this should pop right out. This can stay right where it is for now. Looks pretty good. The next thing we're going to do is remove this sensor, remove your two mounting bolts, but be careful not to drop it. It's very sensitive. Set this aside. The next thing we need to do is tape our window so it's in the fully up position. This is going to help make sure that it can't come down as we're working. The next thing we're going to do is remove our 3 mounting bolts for our window motor to the regulator. Remove your window motor. Alright, so let's go ahead and grab onto this wiring. I've got another anchor point. Let's put this out of the way. At this point, all of our wiring is nice and clear. The next thing we want to do is go ahead and remove the bolts that hold the window regulator to the actual glass itself. If you were to look through this piton right here, and then this hole right here, you're going to be able to find 2 10mm headed bolts. Go ahead and loosen those up. Let's go ahead and remove our 9 mounting bolts. Leave that one in just a couple of threads. Now with all the bolts out of here, what we can do is we can just wiggle this around a little bit and we're going to break it free. Once we've done that, we'll just maneuver it around until it comes out of the door. Okay, there it is, friends. Now using a nice clean rag with some window cleaner, let's go ahead and clean down the lower aspect of the window from inside, especially the areas where those little clips are going to grab onto it. Okay friends, now it's going to be time to get our brand new window regulator in there. Before you can go ahead and do that, you want to make sure you remove the screws that were on either end of this. It's just going to make it easier to fit into the door. Once you do, go ahead and install it in the opposite direction that you removed the old one from. Essentially coming in from an angle is going to be the easiest way. Alright, now let's go ahead and start in all of our mounting bolts. Now for the guide rod that goes up and down along the back side of the window regulator, you want to pay special attention to the top that has the clasp. You want to make sure that the glass is going to be sitting down inside that clasp, and then of course we'll go ahead and tighten up that bolt after we get everything situated. I'm just going to reach up in here, make sure the clasp is going around the glass like I said. This feels good. We'll do the same over there, and then of course we'll start snugging everything up. Here's a picture of what the clasp looks like. The glass is going to come in between like that. Okay, get this clasp on there. Once we have that, we can start the bolt here. My ripped glove. All right, now that we have them all started, let's go ahead and snug them up. Now we just want to make sure that we push these clasps all the way up so they're touching against the bottom of the window, and then snug those up. Okay, so that bottomed out. I'm just going to go a teeny bit more, and then we'll do the same to the other. The next thing we're going to want to do is secure this. What you're going to notice is it has two clasps, one here and one up along the top. We're going to want those to match up with their corresponding holes on the window regulator assembly. There we are. Now it's going to be time to install the window motor. I'll set this just like that. Give it a little twist. Start in all three of your bolts and then snug them up. All right, now let's just go ahead and snug them all up. Now it's going to be time to install our sensor. Start in both of your bolts before you snug either of them up. Now let's go ahead and connect in some of our wiring. We of course have our big connector. It's going to go to the window motor. Click it in, listen for a click, give it a tug. Do the same to all. Make sure this is locked. We've got this piece right here. And squeeze that into there. Now let's go ahead and bring our wiring up here. You're going to notice you have your little connection points. Put that right in there. There should be another one right back here. Go ahead and push that in there, assuming you have it. This one's going to go right along here. And now let's grab our plate and mount that on. When you install the plate, you want to make sure that this area is facing up. That's going to be the mounting screws for the door panel. Snug them up. Okay friends, now it's time to install our inside door handle. Take it like this and hold the spring. Now we're going to take our cable, slide it down and inside this groove, and then bring it just like that. This looks great. At this point, we're going to start the lower piton into this area, just like this. And then we're going to line up the top. Don't go ahead and force this in because you don't want to break the handle. Make sure you go ahead and separate these two pieces a little bit so it can go right in. This looks good. At this point, we're going to push this into its latching point. That looks good. Give this a little test real quick. Make sure that it is spring loaded. The spring's in the right spot. Then of course, we'll re-secure it down the line. Now let's grab onto our other wiring harness here. We're going to take these two wires, the ones for the speaker, put them down and behind, and then of course we'll grab them through that speaker hole. After that, go ahead and connect in this main harness. Make sure you listen for a click, of course. Re-secure it into the window regulator. Set all this stuff aside. Let's grab our speaker. Now it's going to be time to install our speaker. Let's go ahead and connect in the wiring. A little click. There we are. Line this up. Start in all four of your mounting bolts and then snug them up. Now it's going to be time to install our vapor barrier. We want to go ahead and grab these two wires. We're going to put them through this slot right here. Let's grab the remaining 3 wires and put them through this slot. That looks pretty good. Of course, we'll get this up and around the handle here, and then we'll just line it up with all the existing lines where it originally was. Perfect. Now it's time to get our door panel back on. Let's connect in the wiring first, of course. As we go, we're just going to make sure everything completely latches in. Listen for the click and then give it a tug. We put the blue connector in the forward one, and then of course the green in the rearward. This is all connected in. At this point, we're going to lift this up high so we can go over this. We want that to go right inside. Now before we go ahead and slide it down, you want to press it all the way up against the door, so the panel's completely against the door, and then you'd want to slide it down. If it doesn't feel like it's going all the way against, just lift up, wiggle it until it does. There we are. Feel around the entire door panel just to make sure it's completely secured. This looks great. Now before we go ahead and put in all of our mounting bolts that hold the panel to the door itself, let's go ahead and reconnect the battery and then test to make sure the window works. Now with the key in the on position, let's test the window. You can tell that it's going up nice and straight, perfectly level, and it works perfectly. Turn off the key, and let's continue. Now it's time to get this piece back on. Let's go ahead and lift this up. We're going to line up all the little pitons with their holes, give it a nice little push. That sits flush, looks amazing. Let's install that bolt. And of course our little cover. If you look at the back, you're going to see you have a little flippy-do here. You want the flippy-do facing towards the back. Slide that in. Now let's get these bolts that are inside the handle. Let's put in our 2 lower bolts. Now we'll finish with this one right here. Let's go ahead and pop that in there. Now with the key in our hand, let's make sure the door works from inside and out. Perfect.